Hello. This is Vero, and I just wanted to wrap up the Reading Rush week. It's finished yesterday, and I just wanted to let you guys know how it went for me. I had some footage that I filmed during the week, but it was kind of underwhelming, so I decided to just do a whole wrap up video. One thing, I woke up this morning and to some drama that was happening in the booktube community because I think that the creators of the Reading Rush did an oopsie. I don't know what happened. I cannot find the live show. So basically, they in a live show they did something or said something bad. I don't know what this thing is. I asked some people, but they haven't gotten back to me yet. So at this point in the timeline, when I'm recording, I have no idea what happened. So if I just wanted to put it out there because I will not comment on that, but it's mainly because, again, I don't know exactly what happened, so I don't have an opinion on it because I don't know. I don't know the tea, guys. I don't know the tea. I cannot spill it. So sorry. I would just talk about the books I read. I'm sorry. So the books I read so many books. It was such a fun experience. Apart from a couple of hiccups, but basically these are the books I read. Plus another one which was called, it was a collection of poems by Charles Bukowski called You Get So Alone at Times That It Just Makes Sense. And a flatmate of mine, actually an ex-flatmate, had lent me the book, and he moved, so I had to give him back the book. But yeah, I will talk about the books. I started, of course, with The Land of Neverendings. I have a whole video about it. It was the only video I did during the actual Reading Rush week. And it was amazing. Highly recommended. The prompt I used this for was for the birthstone, color of your birthstone cover prompt, because mine was amethyst, purple, whatnot. It's all in the other video. Then I started reading this book called The Picture of Dorian Gray, a classic by Oscar Wilde, very famous book. Almost everybody knows at least the story. It's very well loved. It's in the high regards of many people. I hated it. I hated the experience. I hated the book. Loved the premises and loved bits and pieces. Really didn't enjoy the book. I'm not gonna linger too much on it because, yeah, unless people actually ask for my opinion, I just don't wanna linger on stuff I didn't like. I have read some other Oscar Wilde stuff, and I like that things. I didn't like this thing, and that's fine. But yeah, it took me like 3 or 4 days to go through this because I really wasn't enjoying the experience. In the meantime, what I started reading to get me through this was Steppenwolf by Herman Hesse. This was not in my original. Oh, these two weren't in my original TBR. In my original TBR, I only had 4 books, but then I got these. This is for the prompt. A book that was the origin of a movie adaptation. This book gets referenced in many media things. How I found it out was from this movie called, maybe I did talk about this, I don't know, I think so, yeah, was by this movie called The Mole with Cameron Monaghan. The Mole is actually based on a book that's based on this book, because every time I hear Herman Hesse Steppenwolf in other media, is kind of like thrown in. It's not an actual adaptation of this book. I haven't come across an adaptation of this book, but I love this book so much. It's so good. It's very high concept. It's very dense to go through, but it's so well written, and the themes are so good, and the prose is so nice. And that may be also because it's a translation from German, so maybe the translator did a very good job. I wanna translator by Basil Creighton. Good job, Basil. Revised by Walter Sorrell. Good job, Walter. Good job, Herman Hesse. Good job, everybody. This is a great book. That's it. Then, after that, I started reading The Frolic of the Beasts by Yukio Mishima. This was for the prompt, read the first book you touch, because I went to the library to find books. I knew I wanted to read a book by Yukio Mishima, and this was the only one they had, so it was the first one I touched. Nice, heavy themes, very, very heavy themes. It was quite easy to read, to go through. Very, I really like in Japanese literature, it's very emphatic, very, even though there's a plot and you follow this plot, it's very like it creates these pictures here and there, and you're just following. It's kind of tableau like, and I really, really like that type of, it's not even a writing style, that type of imagery of just like you're seeing this scene, and then after that you've seen this scene, and everything is connected in a way or the other, but it's not just like this happens and this and this and this. Really like that. But yeah, heavy themes. Not the my favorite book of Japanese literature ever, but again, really like the style. Then I read You Get So Alone at Times That It Just Makes Sense by Charles Bukowski, which is a poetry collection, as I said, and so good. Really, really made me want to read more poetry. That's the prompt I used it for. Read a book in a genre that you would like to read more of. And yeah, it's just, especially after all these very brainy books, I was like, oh my god, I just feel stuff. And just having this, very simple but very impactful poetry, really, really liked it. Because again, I am familiar with poetry because of school. But at school, they make you read like 19th century poetry or like 14th century poetry, and that's very structured. Very, these are the metrical system and the rhetorical system, and these are the themes, these are the imageries, and blah 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 blah. Charles Bukowski instead is very more freeform, and again, it's just an impression that gives you, and I really, really enjoyed that. I don't have the physical copy of the book, but don't even know how to put the little, this is the cover here. I don't know how to do that. So, sorry. Then, after reading these books, I kind of started feeling quite burnt out. So I just took it easy. I was like, I do want to keep reading, but I don't want to push myself to read in a fashion that doesn't make me enjoy or appreciate the books. So I did start the other two books I had, which are A God in Every Stone and Big Magic. This was for the prompt, a book set in a country or a continent that you don't live in. This book talks about an English woman called Vivian Rose Spencer. So it has some scenes set in England, which is where I live at the moment. But most of it, well, I only read a quarter of it, but most of it takes part in the Empire, and it talks about empire, and it's set in the summer of 1914 at the beginning of World War One, and it talks about empire dynamics and colonizers and The Lies of the Empire. It's such a nice, look, I'm really excited to just finish this book and keep reading, because yeah, it talks about very how it's so, or it was, and it still is so easy to just be fed these lies, this by the colonizers, and just without even realizing become part of the problem. And so yeah, really recommended. It's also extremely well written. It talks about archaeology as well, and just culture, and in a way that really makes you want to just go on an excavation site and explore culture and ancient culture. Very good. Then for Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, this was the prompt to read the book completely outside. I did start reading it outside. Again, when I read it yesterday, the part I read yesterday was completely outside. But I didn't finish it. It's a non-fiction book about creative living and creativity, and just how your creativity is part of you, and how to live in like side by side with your creativity, not living in spite of your creativity, or because of your creativity, just living with it, and exploring it and appreciating it, and just have fun with creativity. And I'm really enjoying this. It made me tear up, because I'm like, I feel so void inside. I don't have inspiration. I'm not creative. I don't do anything with my life. But then I realized, just make a YouTube video and then you start feeling creative. Yeah, it's very good if you need a kick in the butt. Not because it's tough love or anything. It's just it makes you want to do stuff. It makes you want to create. So highly recommended. Again, I read a lot. I don't know how many pages I read. I don't know. I don't remember. I think like the ratings I gave, apart from a couple. I know this was 5 stars, and I think this was 1 star, 4 star, 3 star. Didn't finish this two, and I think Charles Bukowski was either 4 or 5 stars. Again, ratings are very. I don't rely too much on ratings, because in a week I might change my mind about a rating I gave. But yeah, it was for me it was a very nice experience, this reading rush, and because I just appreciated having an excuse, giving myself permission to just go and read and fuck everything else I need to read, which is a mindset that I hadn't had in a while, and it just was very nice to go back to, oh, I don't know what to do, what should I do, oh, let's read. I really like that. But yeah, those were the books I read and my thoughts kind of on them. Let me know if you have read those books, if any of those books interest you, if you really love the picture of Dorian Gray and you want to like eat my face because it's not possible that I didn't enjoy a book by Oscar Wilde. I don't know, I feel very afraid sharing my opinion on that book. Yeah, let me know if you want to hear my opinion on the picture of Dorian Gray more in depth, because if I do, it's gonna be a whole video, man, a whole video. And yeah, let me know stuff, comment. I really enjoy when people comment, because I like talking to people, and so if you want to comment, I appreciate that. Thank you. That's it for now. I will see you soon, and bye bye.